I tell you, it's been probably the saddest 8 months in Alabama football in a long, long time. Starting 0-4 this year, man, Alabama hasn't lost 4 games in the regular season since Jimmy originally cracked corn. But I guess it's official because you got some wide receiver that got hurt, which I hate injuries no matter when they happen, preseason, during the season, middle of the season, beginning of the season, end of the season. So I'm not making light of the injury, but it's just sad that this Jojo Earle, projected to be a starting wide receiver for Alabama, going to be out, it looks like, till at least October 1st, which means he's going to miss the first 4 games of the season. And if we've learned anything at all over the last 8 months, it's that Alabama can't win a game if they have an injured wide receiver. I mean, and it's not me saying that. I'm going off of what Alabama fans have been telling me, for a while now. So it's just a sad situation. There's, Alabama fans, top of the world in college football for, 15 years, whatever it's been. And here we are 2-3 weeks before the season starts, and their season is already over. Even with all the bias and everything that gets placed towards Alabama, not even Alabama's getting in the playoffs with 4 losses. So it's just a sad situation. Probably not even going to make a New Year's Six bowl. When you build your whole foundation on excuses, this is what happens, I guess. Whatever happened to that giant sign Alabama used to have in their locker room? No excuses. Remember? Y'all seen that picture? If I can find a picture of it, I'll put it up. But somewhere in their locker room or players' lounge or something, it's this huge sign up on the wall. Alabama, no excuses. I don't know what happened to that. Alabama's been on a nonstop excuse parade for the better part of the last 8 months now. It's just been sad to see. And unfortunately, with Jojo Earle out till at least October, the only logical conclusion you can draw based on what Alabama fans have been saying over the last 8 months is that Alabama's starting off the season 0-4. It's sad, but it's true. It doesn't make me happy, Yeah, but it is what it is. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? I don't know. Welcome to the excuse parade. Starting early this year. Last year, we didn't get the excuses to the end. Of course, then at the end of the season last year, we found out last year was actually a rebuilding year. Another excuse, right? Nick Saban said it was a rebuilding year. Then they asked Saban about it last week. Did y'all see this? They asked Nick Saban. Alabama started practice last week. Saban comes out to do a press conference, right? One of the first questions they ask him is about the statement he made about 2021 being a rebuilding year. And you know what he said? Well, he said some long, dried-up nothing like he always does, but then he said, so this is a rebuilding year too. So even before Alabama had an injured wide receiver, somehow 2022 was already a rebuilding year for Bama. I'll play the clip because some people are going to say, he didn't say that. He did say that.
Yeah, a lot was made about your comments yesterday about the 21 team being a rebuilding year. What is your response to that, and how do you?
Well, I don't understand what's so hard to understand when the point being we were young and we should have 9 starters back on offense and 9 starters back on defense. That's the point I was trying to make. 6 guys went out for the draft. So as we usually have to do, we have lots of rebuilding to do again this season. So that's the point that I was trying to make. So when you have a lot of young players playing, I don't think our standard is like everybody else's standard, but when you have a lot of young players playing, you're actually trying to rebuild so those guys get the kind of experience you need so they can play at the level you need them to play at so you can play to the standard you want to play to.
He said he made the comment that last year was a rebuilding year, 2021, and then when asked about that comment last week, he gave some drawn-out, nothing answer like he always does, and then he said basically every year is a rebuilding year, including this year, 2022. So it was already a rebuilding year before you had an injured wide receiver. Again, the excuses are just coming fast and furious. It's one thing for fans to make it because, Alabama fans, generally speaking, are dumber than a pile of dead batteries anyway. But for the coach, a coach that I think is the greatest coach of all time, Nick Saban, to be on a never-ending excuse tour is just unbelievable to me. You know how sometimes people retire and they go on these speaking tours or whatever? Nick Saban's not even waiting to retire. He's on a never-ending excuse tour. It's sad. It's sad to see. It's sad. It's real sad to see. It's like when a baseball player or a basketball player or a football player a great basketball player, baseball player, football player, like an all-time great, and they play 1 or 2 seasons too long, and it becomes hard to watch, because you just remember him being so good. It was like trying to watch Drew Brees last year. Did you try to watch Drew Brees play last year? Guy couldn't throw the ball from here to my helmet wall last year. It was just you hated to see it. That's what Saban is. He's outlived his usefulness, I guess. I don't know. Excuse Tour 2022, Tuscaloosa.